Can you all see my screen? Is it visible?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
Okay, great. So as we know that we will be working today on conflict management, and before we go ahead, a little glimpses about me. I am Nivedita Pawar. I have joined IIT recently. I can say now it's been like 3 4 months, and I'm quite enjoying my journey here. So completed my master's in psychology from Tata Institute in 2014, and since then I have been practicing in the field. So when we talk about the topic today, I will be starting off with a poll to understand how our thought processes or how our mindset is, and then we will take the session ahead. Is it okay for you guys?
Yeah.
All right, great. So that's how we will be looking forward is to understand what is conflict, look at identifying it, managing conflict, what is the role of stress, what is the the parameters for the students when they are facing conflicts, so on and so forth. And lastly, but we will also be looking at the tips on managing conflict. So to start off with, I shall be sharing the poll for taking this conflict management. Okay. All right. Is the poll visible?
Yeah.
Visible.
Yes, yes, great. Thank you. Okay, if anybody wants to share any thoughts while we are doing the poll, please feel free to share your thoughts. More than welcome. For those who have joined us, we have just begun and we are doing a poll. So in case you get it, if you can also participate in the poll, it will be great.
Just to chat,
Yeah.
I thought, given the topic,
Uh-huh.
we'll have like many people in there from IIT, and so anyway, so probably people are stressing themselves more than attending this. I guess I would rather say that.
I would like to take it in that way only. I hope students are doing well, but while they are working on the other things. But yes, in case now that we are whenever you get emails about we conducting sessions, it will be an earnest request if you guys can share it across to fellow students or faculty members who would be interested. It feels great to have a conversation and an interactive session. So thank you for sharing. All right, I think we are almost there.
Niveta, I think
Yes.
most of the people have answered the poll questions. We can just, start.
Okay. Okay. Great. So I'm ending the poll as of now so that we get to know what the answers look like. So the questions that I had asked were very simple, and these were the questions which came to my thought. When I think of conflict as an individual or as a part of the society or the institution that we are aligned with. So whenever I feel like I feel conflict absorbs my time and attention, most of y'all have said yes, which is something that we need to be looking across, and we will be talking on that part. I would rather win than ending up in compromise. It happens sometimes. It's because many a times we feel that if we give in too much, the opposite person might take us for granted, and we will see how that can be managed across. When looking in for a conflict, I look for a mutually agreed solution, which is very true because only if we can look at things which can be sorted out well and good rather than holding grudges and thinking about it and coming back to it again. I agree to a middle ground. Again, yes, sounds very good that most of us we agree to it and we've said yes that we would want to come to a middle consensus, which is good. And lastly, when I feel I am losing the argument, I try to win over the other person. Yes, it does happen many a times, is because all of us are human beings, and uh, we are very much it does affect us if in case we do get hurt when we talk about any kind of conflict or any kind of places where people do feel attached or they do feel like okay somebody is stumping on my territory or something of that sort. So, taking forward the conversation, when we talk about understanding conflict, the most important thing that we have is we need to understand or we need to have an acknowledgement that what is called as conflict. When we talk about conflict, it is a layer of all these years that has gone by an individual. The first layer that we talk about is the differences in thoughts. We are all different human beings, and being different human beings, all of us have a different thought process. With those, we create our own attitudes, we have our own interest systems, and so on and so forth. So the first layer, when we happen to conversate with somebody, when we have to get into any kind of a conflict or an argument, the first thing we are doing is we are touching a sensitive point, is which is their own perception about things and opinions. And when that happens, controversial becomes the talk of the town. The two people talk, they did not get well with each other, and a conflict around came out of it. But whenever conflict comes out of it, it could lead to many, many things. It could be a reason of many things. So when we talk about conflict, it has many several types. I have jotted down a few, but when you talk about an organizational level, there could be much more that we can't definitely talk about. First is the verbal conflict is many a times there are clashes because of the tone of an individual. The person might not want to say it in a wrong way, but the way it has been expressed is where the person feels offended many a times. The sensitive religious parts, if anybody says any simple thing which was not meant to be offended, but people do get offended. Social settings, then you have your community settings. Many a times we as an individual, we also have a conflict when it comes to a generation gap. I'm sure a lot of you all will agree that when we talk about certain things to our parents, they might say that no, things were different at our time, but at your time things are different, which is the case. Right now things are very different, and we need to keep going with the times that are changing. And when we come across that point that the person has to identify that there is a conflict because of a generation gap, it will always be great if in case we let them know that okay, you are good at your point, I am good at my point, but this is where the common state or the present tense is, and this is how we would like to take it further. So when we talk about other controversial parts or other conflicts, we all know that it's natural, and we have had them either in our home places or at our workplaces, and we need to know that it is natural and it is common. When we talk about identifying conflict, it's very important to identify that is the conflict within oneself? That is it an internal conflict that we have, or is it an external conflict or intrapersonal conflict? When we talk about internal conflict, it is much more to do with my own thoughts, my own decisions, and how do I overcome a certain feeling. Many a times, a lot of us struggle with having issues with commitments. We have issues when we talk about making a decision. We have issues about following a certain pattern of life, or we have issues when we talk about adjusting with other people. All of this will start only when you work on yourself. In the last few sessions of the like the initiative that we are doing with Bandhu, we've spoken about how do we identify, how do we need to be with people. For that, we need to understand what is we as an individual, what is my own self worth. If I am somebody who feels who has self doubt, who constantly feels low, or who does not have that much of confidence to go and talk with others, I am definitely going to be facing a lot more conflicts. This happens when we are in a setup which is an institutional setup, which is colleges, or maybe if in case you're staying with a PG or all of those sorts. Reason is we come with our perceived notion, and with that perceived notion, we do not know how to either adjust to it or get adapted to it or have our way out. So when we have these things, it's between us. The fight is within us. And exactly opposite is our external conflict. It could happen with the people that you're sitting in and around you. It could happen with the people who are either giving you knowledge or you are giving knowledge to. Either it could happen that there are certain situations which are absolutely out of our control, which could be the natural disasters, which could be the COVID pandemic that we are in. This is something none of us have control over. So certain things which are beyond our control and we cannot do anything about it, it is the first thing that's created is a conflict. How do we acknowledge it? How do we work over it? How do we understand that it's a conflict? And then we work further, then it becomes an easier path of for us when we talk about conflict. So two ways is one is an internal conflict and the other way is an external or an interpersonal conflict. When we talk about having conflicts, when we talk about knowing what conflicts are, it is very important that how do you manage this conflicts? Because when we talk about managing conflict, it comes with its own pros and cons. First and foremost is fear. If I talk about conflict, we do not know how the opposite person is going to react to it. So there's always a fear that okay, let's just be it. Like, whatever conflict let it be, I am gonna just walk away or I'm going to ignore it. But how long are you going to be ignoring it? How long are you going to let it be? Because if in case it is handled in a wrong way, or if in case it is not managed well, it will harm cause to you. Be it your relationship, be it your any kind of a work space that you are in, that will be providing you more places of conflict. But if you can handle it well, if you can talk about it, if you can give them that space, whoever the person that you are in an argument with, if you can give them the space and acknowledgement that I understand there's something that you're not happy about, what is it that I can do, or what is it that we together can do about it? Look at it as an opportunity to strengthen the relationship or to have good bonds with the people that you are currently working with. Most of the times, now that we are working from our home setup, we will experience a lot of conflict at the home front also. It used to happen that most of the times, out of the 24 hours, maximum hour used to go in our college or at our workplace. The remaining hours we used to either sleep or have our time out with our friends, and whatever time is there with the home members or the family members that we are with. Given the pandemic situation, we are all stuck up in our houses and with the surroundings that we cannot possibly change. At that point in time, see what are the conflicts. Many a times we do have conflicts which are homebound or that are causing very strong effects on relationships with parents, with siblings, with your friends or other community members. Try about it, think about it, look at ways you can work on it, and how are the ways that you can manage about these conflicts. Because these conflicts, if ignored, are going to be tomorrow turning out to be dangerous signs, or it could be causing you more harm. When we talk about conflicts and we talk about managing conflicts, it's very important to understand the role of emotions and stress that it comes along with, because conflict is something which is very unpleasant in nature. Nobody would like to get up and get into a fight with anybody. I'm sure, like, that is what Bollywood usually shows is that you get into people, two people collide, and there's like a drama and fight. That does not happen with us normal, like people who are walking across the street. At this point in time, what happens is you are either co-living with that person or co-working with that person. Try to identify what are the emotions that get triggered, how is it that you are talking to an individual when you are hurt? Many a times when we are hurt is when we tend to hurt the opposite person. So how is it that you are feeling hurt? What are your own emotions? Do you feel disappointed about certain things? Are you uncomfortable in the situation where this conflict is taking place? If you can become aware about it, if you can acknowledge it, the majority of the stress gets reduced by its own self. Stress happens because we keep on bottling up upon things. Okay, it's okay, it'll happen. Okay, all this, all the time it happens. This person does this to me, that person does this to me. We keep on stacking it up upon one another the other, and eventually the outburst happens, and that's when relationships break. And this break is an irreparable break. This is a harm that, it will take time for an individual to break through that and come to a normal coordinates with each other. So if we have any people or in any relationships that you might be experiencing conflict about, talk about that. Look across at what is it that is really bothering the person. Give your listening ears to the person, because many a times conflict will happen if the person does not feel acknowledged. If the person is putting in a lot of emotion, a lot of effort, a lot of his own heart and soul in doing something, if that does not get acknowledged, I'm sure you and me in that place would also feel hurt or disappointed. But if we do not acknowledge it, if we do not look after it, it is going to keep on, sowing it slow by slow, little by little, and eventually it's going to be bursting out. So, what are your emotions? How are you in check with your emotions? If you become mindful of your emotions, if you are self aware about what you feel and what you are experiencing in your body, mind, and soul, you will be able to identify how role plays a major difficult part and how that can be easily removed across and worked across with conflict. When we talk about conflict, there are many times that we as students or we as a part of the community do get affected. Over here, I would invite the students to kindly unmute and share your thoughts, because I'm sure you all have been through it and as much as we have all gone through it. So, as students, most of us will find it difficult when we talk about having time management. N number of assignments, N number of things to work across, N number of things to do, but there is very less time. One assignment gets over, and before it gets over, you have 10 more assignments waiting in line to be taken care of. But how do you manage your time for your task? If you have attended the session which we did on time management, it will give you a very nice view of how you can make a list for yourself which is productive and which is something that can be done. It is a doable list of practical ideas and tips which as a student will definitely help you across. Second foremost, how do we manage our finances? As a student or as a faculty member or as a staff, we have limited amount of money with us, because when we have a limited amount of money, we need to be very careful of where are we spending it, how are we making the best use of it, are we able to take care of the things which are essentials, are we also able to take care of things which could be luxurious in a day or two, or which could be something which all of us would like to enjoy it for once or twice. At the same point in time, we need to identify, do we have enough funds if in case we run into any kind of an emergency, natural, man-made, or any kind of an health emergency. If we have to take care of all these certain points, we also need to be careful about where are the things we say yes and where are the things we have to say no. And when you have to say no, that's where the conflict will come across, because you might not want to uh, upset your friends, or you might want to go with your family members at a certain place. You might want to do n number of things which could be on your bucket list or on your wish list. But understanding the constraint as an individual and being aware of your own finances helps you to deal with this conflict, and at the same time help others if there is anybody who would need any kind of a help and support. Next thing that we talk about is prioritization. How do we identify that when is it that my mind is tricking me and getting me into procrastination? So when we talk about procrastination, it is having a conflict with myself that why is it that I do not want to do certain things right now, which I need to be doing right now because I need to finish things and I need to move forward. But if I always keep it at the last moment and if I do not work on it at a given point in time, eventually things are going to get piled up. I have to probably, you might have to stay up the whole night. You might not be able to give your best and you might feel so much uh, unprepared for the things that you are good at. So, what are the things that your mind is tricking you, or there is a conflict which is happening in your head? What are the other things that you are giving the priority to? It could be rest. It could be that, okay, we are all in the pandemic, let's just Netflix and chill. But no, that's not the cause for us because there are so many things that we need to do. And chilling could be a different topic altogether. But getting things done is what we are here for. We need to identify how the things can be placed. How is it that while you're working, rest is also important because if you do not take rest, we will also be talking about how it affects us as an individual and being a part of the family. So ensure what are the things you have to prioritize, what are the things you can actually procrastinate. And if you make a list of things, you will identify that the do's and the don'ts is what we usually have, like the normal list that we have. But I have sometimes I call it as a priority list and a procrastination list, and you will be amazed at things which we know, "Acha, this is something that I can do it later." That does not need to be in the priority list. And there are certain things which are in the procrastination, which we know that, okay, I need to do it right now, here and now, but we tend to put it later on. Ask yourself, why am I doing it? Am I not okay to face what the fears it brings? Or is it difficult for me to attempt at this point in time? Whatever it is, think about it and bring it to your priority list, and you can so and so take your things further. Next, we talk about homesickness or having conflicts in an environment which is place where we get nurtured. Now that we are all working from our respective hometowns or our home places, it also could be a fact that there are students who could be stuck up in either a PG or outside their houses. Given the time and situation, we may or may not be able to get back to our family members or have our family members visit us. But slow and slowly, when the times get back to normal and we might get back to the campus, this is where the homesickness would, crop in a little more because we are used to being around in a certain situation or amongst people who are always there to comfort us, who are always there to care for us, protect for us. And in that league, we do not even know that how many things we do not have to bother about or we do not have to worry about because they are already been taken care of. When these things which are already been taken care of suddenly become a priority or it suddenly comes up as a demanding situation, that's where we start missing our hometowns or we start missing our people back home at the max. And this missing, which happens on a very extreme level, can cause you stress, can also cause you emotional turmoil. So the more in touch you are with your own self, you will identify that what part of the home are you missing more? Is it the comfort? Is it the ease? Like the way you were been having things the way you wanted it to be? Or is it the fact that now the effort is all on you? Whether you get up or not, it's your task. Whether you work or not, it's your task. How and when you do certain things is where this homesickness would come into place. So, as students and as individuals, I'm sure all of us have felt that pain or that kind of difficulty that we do miss our either, when we talk about homesickness, it does not really mean talking about your house or your hometown. It could also mean nostalgia. When we talk about generation gap, nostalgia is something which is very much prominent. That when we were young, things were different there. At our times, our parents never supported us in this way, or we did not have XYZ things that you guys have now. Yes, even if that is true, how do you take that and how do you work on that? If you get into a fight, it's definitely not going anywhere, and the argument is just going to be endless. At that point in time, find out what are the commonalities, find out a middle way, and how you can work further with it. Then we talk about having a healthy mind and a healthy body. As I was talking about conflict being a combination where your mind, body, and soul gets affected, this is what I meant. If you have a healthy body, if you have a healthy mind, you're definitely going to be more enthusiastic, or you will have more energy towards the life that you want to live, or the lifestyle that you want to lead. If either of these three combinations gets affected, a lot of things then fall into an unbalanced pattern. When this unbalanced pattern comes into place, conflict definitely comes in. And that point in time, conflict is internal as well as external. So you are fighting two wars at one go, because your mind and your body is not supporting you, and because you're unhappy, the people around you could also be affected because of your happiness or your being in general. Then we have points which you talk about enjoyment or taking the leisure time out, and talking about all this masti and hula loop that we talk about. But the time that we are in, it could not be a feasible place to move out, or go out and hang around in any other places. As much as we all would like to enjoy happily and attend parties and throw parties, that's not true for given point in time. As students, I'm sure all of you all must be feeling that right now we do not have time to finish our assignments, and here we are talking about all these parties. Definitely not, because what is important is how are you ensuring that you're not missing out on the fun, but also enjoying yourself as much as you are taking your education. Education or knowledge is something which is an incoming or an easy way to live a happy life for an individual. But that does not mean that punishing yourself for not having any like leisure time or leisure activities. But also be mindful that leisure activities are for resting, or just taking your time off, or to relax your mind. If that becomes your primary goal, then all the other primary goals are going to be affected, and that is when the conflict will happen. Parents will be probably upset with you, your faculty members could be upset with you, you yourself could be upset because you were expecting yourself to do xyz things, but just because you let loose for one or two things, things are falling down, or they are not as the way you wanted it to. So be mindful, enjoy, but at the same time be take the responsibility for that freedom. Then we talk about taking your courses, or when we were actually talking about IIT as a background, a lot of us have brand changes which comes into place. We may not be happy with a certain situation or a certain topic or a certain course of education that we are in. How do I know that I am unhappy there? What is the problem I'm facing with that course or that kind of subject, which is making an internal conflict? I remember when we were taking this pre queries questionnaire, there was somebody who did share about how do we choose between two things, and at the same time if we are liking these two things also. So over here is first and foremost is, do not think that if you are choosing one, you're going to win the conversation or you're going to win that contest. It is not something like that. So at that point in time, you need to identify, if you're taking A as an option, what are your pros and your cons? If you're taking B as an option, where is it going to lead you? If I know that I have multiple options and I have to choose between all of these, make out a list, literally sit down with a pen and paper and talk about it. Either you can talk to your senior members, faculty members, mentors, coaches, whosoever it is. Talk about the difficulty that you're facing. An internal conflict, if ignored, can turn out to be an external conflict. Because if you are in fight or if you are in war with yourself, I'm sure you will feel you're standing on a battleground. But in reality, that might not be the case. It could just be in your head because you are not clear of what you want. We talk about decision making, we talk about making any changes, whether it is for subject or a lifestyle or creating certain habits that you want. If you want to work on any of this, ask yourself, be mindful, talk to yourself. It might feel a little intimidated that, okay, why do I have to always acknowledge things? Why do I always have to take the lead? Why is it that I always have to put my step down or I have to raise my voice? Because you are an individual and you can do it. If you want things to change in and around you, it is only you who has to make it happen. If you keep sitting and thinking, okay, like one fine day things are going to be great and amazing, that's not, it's a bubble which is good if in case, like you're able to burst it better and sooner so that you know that the realities of life makes you choose. Realities of life will put you across spaces where you will have to make a decision. You will have to think of the pros and cons, whether it is subject, whether it is in any kind of your lifestyle or anything, even for that matter, your health and your responsibilities. All of that needs to be very carefully chosen and then taken forward. And last and foremost is your relationships. When we talk about relationships as students, we do get sandwiched. When we talk about being a sandwich generation, is when our parents are probably the ones who are having some conflicts, and at the same time, probably your fellow students or your friends or your colleagues, they could also be having this kind of a conflict. Maybe when we have these kind of conflicts, the relationship gets affected. And when relationships get affected, that is where we have to identify that what are the things we need to know. So, to talk about all of these things in general, you need to be very much aware as a student or even as a faculty or as somebody who's professional in their field. Be aware of the things and how is it that you would like to work across is something that you will have to do. So the slides from here on are going to be scenario based slides. So I will be sharing the screen, but I would request you all to be, you guys can unmute yourselves and share the thoughts that you feel like on the scenarios that are given to you. I hope everybody is there with me and this is something that you are, it's going in sync with the thought process.
Yeah.
Is this, yeah, thank you. Is the screen visible? Can you see the actual thing that's visible?
Yeah.
All right. So, who would like to share the thoughts on this scenario? Again, as you all know, this is a safe space. You all can share your thoughts. It's going to be there with us. And if there's anybody who would want to, like, have any more discussions, please feel free to connect with us. So, over to you guys.
Okay, maybe I can go here.
Yeah.
So this is something that I encountered myself
Mm-hmm.
when I joined IIT Bombay.
Hmm.
So what I realized is, in the long run, people around you should be accepting you for who you are, and
Absolutely.
whatever values you carry, they should respect and honor you for that. Doesn't
Hmm.
really matter. You shouldn't be changing your habits just to fit in into the new set of students or your peer group,
Yes.
and I think that is very important. And I think if you're bold enough and you showcase that maybe I'm not wanting to get into substance abuse or anything like that, and people will respect you for it. So even if your peers are doing it, it's fine, but they'll honor and respect and not probably force you for joining them.
Yes. Thank you so much, Harshvardhan. That was a really insightful sharing because I'm sure all of us have been there at some point in time and we all have faced this devil and the soul who's there to take us in the way out. So thank you for sharing. Anybody else who would like to share their thoughts? If not, we can go ahead with the next. Okay. Who would like to share their thoughts on this one?
Maybe we can go alphabetically and maybe Akshata can help us over here.
All right, Akshita.
Akshata, Amit, Aranjit, whoever wants to answer.
I'm sure this is a scenario which has happened with all of us, whether or not we like it.
I mean, it probably happened in school, but it hasn't happened of late. But I
Yep.
think if such a situation did happen in my life, then I would probably choose to confront the person about what they've been saying. Probably make sure that I'm not just like, sort of being paranoid and thinking that they did that, and tell them like, okay, you know what, you can come clean. I've seen that you've done that. What's up? Like, why are you doing this? Did I hurt you in some way? Were you reacting to something? And if they weren't reacting to anything and it was just character assassination for fun, then I know it would probably be a little difficult to move on from a friendship, but then I think that would be the most healthy thing to do for yourself, to sort of cut that person out and not let them affect you so much. But I mean, if they were hurt in some way, I guess, there's still a chance that you can talk it out and ask them, okay, if I said something hurtful, we can talk about it. And yeah, we can resolve that in a civil way.
Absolutely. I I enjoyed the conversation where you actually spoke about confrontation, because a lot of us would fear confronting the opposite person for doing something like this to us. How much ever funny manner it could be, but it could affect the opposite person to an extreme that with fun on games we might not even get to know the depth of a person. And at the same point in time, it's also necessary to be be in that state to tell yourself that, do I really need to take care of this relationship that I have with this individual or not? If in case the relationship is necessary and it is very strong for you, you have you need to have that patience and the courage to forgive that person, forgive that mistake, and then move forward. Thank you so much for sharing, energy. That was really, really nice. All right, so let's move on to the next. I'm sure all of us have been through it. So who would like to share?
Yeah, I think I can, I can take this up
Yes,
because
yes.
I'm sort of facing this conflict myself right now. Uh, yeah, I think I would prioritize sleep and having breakfast and maybe going out for a walk every day. Because when you're busy, I think those are the first things that go flying out of the window,
Mhm.
and those can have the most impact on your mood, your emotions, your mental health, without you realizing. And the next day, you kind of snap at somebody, and then you realize that maybe you've gone off the deep end.
Mhm.
So I think to take care of those sort of fundamental priorities like sleep, food, getting enough exercise is important no matter how busy you are. And then, of course, you know, sort of approaching what is most important. So I mean, I have a project to finish, and I realized that maybe I was procrastinating because I was anxious about something that I wasn't thinking rationally about the project, breaking it down into smaller, sort of parts. And also maybe procrastinating because I was overemphasizing the negative consequences of doing a bad job, which kind of was counterproductive, because then I wouldn't work at all. I would end up procrastinating. So yeah, like I would put that next. What is like really my primary goal as a student after I take care of like my base needs. And I think I realized that yes, I was doing exercise, working out, rationalizing that as a coping. I mean, whatever, like as an excuse to sort of say that, oh, it's helping me with focus, or it's helping me with X and Y and Z. But it wasn't really helping me attack what was the primary conflict, that was like working on my academic commitments. And yeah, I mean, I came across this in a book a long time back. It's called The Last Lecture
Mhm.
by Randy Pausch, who was a computer science professor at Carnegie Mellon. So he talks about how sometimes, you have to sort of get at the root of the thing and not cover it up with, not try to attack the symptoms. So he talks about his friend who would spend like hours and like hundreds of dollars on yoga classes because apparently it helped her cope with stress. But the stress was being caused by her not working. So, you have to be, sometimes though you have to be self-empathetic, you have to also kind of realize that maybe you've been avoiding certain things and that's why you feel so stressed. So, and really attack what's causing it.
Thank you so much. Also, to this, I would like to, when we talk about this kind of conflict, it is a mix of internal, external conflicts both together, because either you are in war with yourself where you do not want to do, or you want to do but you're afraid of the effects or after effects of it. And at the same time, the external, because you might be thinking like, what will happen if I do not do it? Like what are the consequences? I might be thrown off, or I might have to do it all over again. But at that point in time, how and what are the steps that you take for it is really, really very helpful. Also, as you mentioned about the book, as the last lecture, uh, there's something that we did cover on this topic on atomic habits when we spoke about time management. So I'm sure both of these things do relate, and that is something we all can take a lot of learnings from. So again, thank you so much for sharing. Let's go to the next scenario. That's the fourth scenario. All right, who would like to share their thoughts? So we have Amit, Ashish, Nilesh, Priyanshu, anybody? Or Mr. Sandesh, if in case you would like to share this, because probably you are at this point where you will be juggling across so many things. Uh, I'm sorry, we're not able to hear you. Probably you're on mute.
Yeah, so kind of been there, done it. Been on both sides of that tug of war, and the best way one would manage it at that time was, so be it, right? See, there was this awareness of you are there to learn, so you do your stuff and you do it. However, if others are not willing, so be it, kind of, rather than taking that they're not doing the work onto you and stressing yourself up with it, you do your work and that's it, kind of, and let them be, kind of. That was my approach, so to say.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Yes, thank you for
but
sharing.
but then I do see a lot of that work on students,
Mhm,
as I'm on the other side now. Well,
mhm.
they want everybody to be part of it, or the ones who have not done it to be not part of the credit process.
Yes,
So I
yes,
think there is a
absolutely.
conflict, and it's sensitive, actually.
Mhm. Yes, yes. And I'm sure, being a student, I myself have been on both of
Yeah.
the sides, so it does bring into place that one could be at the loose end, or somebody who's really holding the rope very tightly. Anybody else who would like to add their thoughts or share anything?
No, I just like to agree with Sandesh, sir. I think the first thing that you can do is to sit them down and tell them that, okay, what you're doing is not cool. You are giving me the lion's share of the work, and when it comes to like the consequences, you probably not be there to like take it up. If there is credit, you'll be there to take it up, and that's not fair. But I mean, beyond that, and I mean, if they're not being rational, they don't understand you as friends, and I don't know, they refuse to budge. Well, I mean, then at that point, you have to take a call. Is that project really so important to you that you need to perform well? If it's not, then, well, uh, inshallah, do whatever, just like accept whatever happens. But if it's really important to you, then I think you have to take a decision at that point and say that I'll carry it alone and, do as much of the work as I can, aim for the best possible outcome instead of just stressing yourself out about your friends not working.
Absolutely. There are many a time things which are out of our control, and how much ever we would like it and love that everybody works in harmony, but that was not the reality. And the sooner we accept it, the better. We can ask, we can share, we can request or invite people, but that is something we cannot do always. So we need to know where do we set our boundaries and how do we work ahead with this boundaries as well. All right, so we come to the last scenario. So again, all of us have been here. So I'm sure you guys will be able to relate to it and share your thoughts. I would really request the other spectators or others to please share some thoughts, because I'm sure all of y'all have been through all of the scenarios that we have mentioned here. So we would really love to know how are you guys working with this conflict and how are you finding your way out. As an individual, or I'm sure as a professional, a lot of you guys are working or doing some sort of research. So it will be great if in case you all can share your thoughts. Harshvardhan, do you would like to share your thoughts on this?
Uh, sure. So probably the approach of lately what I employ is having effective communication.
Mm-hmm.
There's no point in burning yourself out just so that others can stay afloat.
Hmm.
So that's what I try to do basically. Have effective communication and just be frank and candid about what's up with me and whether or not I'll be able to do it.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So I think it's also equally important to know how strong or how weak your plate is. If your plate is gonna be overflowing with things, you might not be able to cater to all those things. But if you know that you have X, Y, Z things, or probably 5 or 10 things on the list, you know that you can at least approach the person, let them know what is your thought process or how you are lined up with your time management or your schedule, and either take extensions. If not, be open about it and tell about it that this is the thing that I have at hand, and these are the things that I really need to also attend. So we talk about family engagements also. So if you always say that no, I need to do this things and I might not be able to be a part of the family, or vice versa, if you're too much on the family front and not more on the professional or the education front, it's going to be affecting both the sides of the spectrum. So these were certain scenarios that I had to share, and thank you so much everyone for being sharing your thoughts and keeping the conversation going. So we move forward to understand that now that we have seen what is conflict, we've seen how do we resolve conflicts. We've also been through certain scenarios which we all have been through. Now is the point we identify how do we resolve this conflict? How do we who builds the cat is what we talk about. So the first and foremost is you need to understand that conflict is much more than an agreement. It, as I spoke, that this is a number of layers that we're talking about. It's not like just the superficial level that the person is upset about or angry about. If there is a conflict, it is coming from somebody who is probably hurt, probably feeling. They could also be feeling emotionally, stepped across, or they might be having a lot of insecurities that they have been dealing with. So manage your stress well, remain calm, do not overreact or do not snap at across anything or any situation just because your cool was lost or you were not in a good frame of mind. So identify the conflict and work towards it. Second is try to respond to any conflict based on our perceptions. That's what we as individuals do. But if we are aware of what is our thought process, and if we know that similarly the opposite person will also have his or her own thought process, we know that we are two different individuals. When we are these two different individuals, that's where it becomes easier to control your emotion and to also have an behavior which is uh, acknowledged by others, or which at least does not harm anybody's sentiments or emotions. So rather than having a tinted image or a tinted glass saying that okay, everybody is like this, it will be good to know that not everybody is same, and we as individuals we will have a difference of opinions and thoughts. The earlier you agree and you accept it, the better the conversations will be. Pay attention to your feelings. How is it that you, when you get affected or when you feel hurt about certain things, whether it's a family relationship, whether it's a close personal relationship, whether it is your education, whether it is your personal life, professional life, whichever area of life you are in. If you get triggered with every small incident and events, you need to identify what is to be done as an individual to heal yourself. Because as we said, conflict is not a positive or not a pleasant emotion to feel, or it's not a pleasant situation to be in onto. Whenever we are faced in this situation, be mindful, be aware of how you are expressing, because one word or one sentence could really mean or hurt the opposite person, wherein you might not want to, you might have just said it in the spur of the moment, but somebody else might take it in a very harmful situation. So be like 10 times I would want to say this, be very careful when you're uttering words or saying something to somebody in that that moment. And lastly, respect the differences. As much as we say that people are different and we live in a place where everybody comes and unites and stays together, that is not really true. A lot of us do have a lot many conflicts that we sometimes choose to talk about, or we choose to ignore. Look at the way wherein if you are ignoring that, that situation, will that be coming back to you? Because eventually it will come back to you. Whenever you are talking about any situations, any person for that matter, seek out a middle way, look out the ways that you can do it in a more harmonious manner. At the same time, you're respecting the differences as well. Then we move forward to say that there are certain things which we can as an individual do to remain calm, to manage conflicts well, and to have an happy and ease for us as an individual. First and foremost, be in tune with your own senses. Take deep breaths. If you find yourself, your body moving, your shoulders being very stiff, your hands are probably perspiring, or the heat in the body is raging because of this anger situation, relax, be calm, take a deep breath, talk to the person. The very fact that you are not reacting, or you're not retaliating, or you're not responding to this person and that same rift or that same aggression, the moment you're changing that energy, a lot many things will fall in place. Person who could be this angry person who's coming to knock you off your head might just take a step back and say, okay, probably we can just talk about this rather than getting into a conflicting situation. Except that people are different, their personalities are different, they are going to be conflicts. Not everybody is going to be being always rosy, happy and jolly. No, that's not happening. We do have our mood swings, we do have our difficult times, we all have been through that. I'm sure all of us have been through it, so accept it. The acceptance is the best key, is the answer out here. Listen to the person. The person when in anger or in conflicting situation could actually be sharing their own fears or their insecurities. They could be talking about certain things in a conflicting manner because they might, as an individual, they might be hurt, or probably they are not being heard by anybody else. If you can just give out your ear to them, let them talk about it, give them that safe space to share about things, half of the conflict will be managed out then and there. Also, not always we need to agree to the opposite person. We might think that acha, it's a family conflict, acha, it's a relationship conflict, acha, it's with probably co-workers, co-students, co-fellow members, whatsoever it is. If it affects your mental health, if it affects you as an individual and your own self-worth, self-esteem, it's okay to disagree to a lot many things, because you do not have to agree to all the things that are happening. So the sooner you understand it, it's good to agree to disagree. And lastly, if somebody is coming and sharing something to you, please do not go out and tell it with every people. Keep the confidentiality, because somebody is just shared, probably somebody's very deepest secrets, or probably somebody is very hurt and that thing is being shared with you. So try not to sharing out or giving out the situation to others. Keep the confidentiality. And as we move towards the conclusion or towards the end of our session, this is the last thought that I would like to keep you or have with us is whenever you are faced with any kind of a situation, as much as we know how to manage, as much as we know how to understand, these are the things which will definitely come in handy with you. First and foremost is listen what is felt as much as it is said. I might be feeling extremely different and I might be talking very different, or my body language and my words might not sync with each other. That could either lead to a conflict or that could always help me to manage a conflict. So be there with all your senses. Make a place of being, like, finding the solution. It is not necessary that it's my flag and I only have to raise it all the time. There's no need of being right. Rather than that, find out the way where both of you can be on the conscious level, both of you come to an equal consensus, and you all can move further. Focus on the present. Many a times it happens that 10 years back somebody said something to me. I am still hurt with it. How can this person say this to me? No, this person does not even know you. He's probably must have just met few times ago, and he might really not know you, he or she. Focus on the present, be here and today and now, and see how things can work out. Rather than getting into a conflict, how can you manage it if in case there is one? Lastly, pick your battles. Not necessary that you need to face all the conflict that's coming to you. Sometimes just letting the person be, as Aranjit was saying, that sometimes you really cannot force everybody to be into the same group and work out things. It is necessary that you can let go of some things, and you need to know how to let go and what to let go, which is the next like point. Identify things which are important, which are the things that really matter to you, where are the conflicts that really make a difference to you. Identify those and work on managing those. And with that, we come to our last slide of the evening, which is thank you for being here and listening to me, and please share your feedback. With that, I am stopping the screen and requesting you all to kindly share your thoughts and let us know how you felt. The feedback form has been given into the chat box. I request you all to kindly go through the chat box and do share your feedback about it. Yes, anybody who would like to share any thoughts?
Uh, uh, Nivedita, so
Yes.
I was quite excited. I mean, thanks for the wonderful presentation.
Mhm.
And I walked into this, session with a lot of things in mind, like see, as you said, most of the presentation was to look at how students are able to cope and things. But if you see, I mean, as an analogy, I
Mhm.
mean, everybody has similar stresses, as we call it different things, in
Mhm.
different times we live in, the time and space. Okay. So at times it's a student group in a project, or at times it's a professional group in a larger thing and all of that. So it really, really was quite nice to come back and, get some kind of, thoughts to ponder over and all of that. Okay. So thanks for that. I was quite, one point I was looking forward to
Mhm.
in from the email which we received was a model neutral language. So could you please elaborate a little bit on that, because I could not see much of content in your presentation on that.
Okay. So did I get it correctly? So you're talking about the neutral language?
Yeah, that was mentioned in the flyer which came,
Yes,
and
yes,
and
yes.
that was quite interested in that, because
Mhm.
that helps me as a person when I'm dealing with a lot of people, including students, including professionals, to how to have a language which is which model and neutral. I was wanting to know more on that.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you for bringing into our notice that probably we might have missed out on capturing those. But many a times it does happen that when we talk about being neutral, is we need to identify. Like I'm sure you've been on the both the sides of the spectrum. So there are many other things which you would be available, like aware of. But whenever we are able to identify that the individual who is facing the problem is different, as in like if we are able to make a difference or make a distinguish that person and the problem is two different things, that becomes the first key to manage conflict in whichever way. If we are able to identify which are the common grounds that we can work across, because as you mentioned, not everybody is going to come together and work, but there are definitely going to be certain things that as an individual we will have to work together. What are the interests? How is it that we can identify those and work together? It could be very difficult but not impossible to ask the person that, as we can see that both of us do not really go along well, but we are expected to work as a team. What is it that we can do together, or how is it that we can work together? Because the very fact that I give that charge, or I give that power to the opposite person, he or she feels heard. They do feel acknowledged that okay, the opposite person is just not the only person, I am also a part of it. So if you can give them this power, or if you can give them this space, that definitely helps. Also many a times, being flexible and open to either taking a feedback or giving a feedback definitely works. And as much as we talk about that in conflict, uh, because we are so raged, the emotions are at its peak. It could be a way that we might not want to, or we probably might close our walls, or we have very strong walls that we might not let the opposite person share things to us. But if we can take a step back and let the person, at least if we are approachable, if people can come up to us and tell us, I'm sure this common grounds will be easier to be identified.
Yeah,
I
thank
hope,
you.
yes, I hope that at least
Yes, yes.
somewhere answers the question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. All right. Anybody else? So please feel free to share your thoughts. Also, write back to us on our email ID, because all the topics that you share with us is something we really enjoy taking up forward. So like something of this which we might have, like skipped out, or it might have just gone back into the thought, but definitely helps us across. Thank you. Thank you so much, Aranjit. Thank you. So please do the feedback sharing and do let us know. Thank you for joining. Have a good evening ahead. Bye
Thank
bye.